Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Afterlife discussion. I hope you all are having a good Saturday. I'm coming to you to do one of a few videos that will be uploaded to the channel on today. This first video is, of course, going to be another Q&A video, responding to questions and comments and the like. So, the first comment comes from I Have Sandwich, who left a comment on my video entitled The Power of the Archons, and their comment was the following: what do you think about people revealing certain mistakes to their victims, like confessing to them that they were the ones who stole something from them, or they said something bad about them to other people and stuff like that? If a person ends up killing someone and the police and all that don't figure out they were the murderer or something, if the killer wants to change and become a better person after learning about the nature of this reality and the pleroma, will they need to reveal that they are the person who killed the victim? Will hiding certain things like this affect their ability to go into the pleroma? Or does it have to be bad enough to make a difference in the afterlife? Should certain actions that were taken be revealed, even if they can seriously hurt other people? I am kind of curious about this since I feel like many people, including myself, have done stuff like talk shit behind other people's backs when I wasn't awakened to this sort of information. And I wonder if this kind of stuff has to be revealed. All right, thank you for your comment and your questions. I will start with this. First of all, karma does not exist. Karma does not exist. Now, with that being said, getting that out of the way, there are only a few things that will determine whether you will escape the reincarnation trick or whether you won't. Those things are gnosis, attachments, and frequency. If you do not have the gnosis, you will not escape. And when I say the gnosis, I'm talking about you having the gnosis, the knowledge of what to do when you get to the other side. If you do not have that gnosis, that knowledge, you're not going to escape. If you have not let go of attachments to people, places, things, regrets, guilt, grudges, hatred, dislike, ego, identity, you are not going to escape. If you do not have your frequency at a high level, you will not escape and go to the higher realms. Those are the things that determines whether you escape or whether you do not. You confessing to the things that you have done wrong, you seeking forgiveness from those you have done wrong, that is not what determines whether you escape or not. It doesn't. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to hear, but that's how it is. You can go your whole life doing bad things and never ask for forgiveness from the people who you've done wrong to. Never confess that you've done wrong to the people you've done wrong to. And as long as you have the gnosis, the high vibrational frequency, and you have let go of the attachments, you will escape. Now, so that's the thing. However, I know for some people, such as myself, if I knew that I did something wrong to someone, morally with me, I could not live with myself knowing that I've done wrong to someone or I've done wrong to people, and I have not sought out forgiveness and confessed what I have done. That's just morally me, and that's morally a lot of other people. But if I decide to never do those things, if I decide to never seek out forgiveness, if I decide to never confess to the people that I've done wrong to, that I have done wrong to them, it's not going to hinder me from being able to leave this matrix and escape the reincarnation trick. It's not going to hinder me. But morally, I know I couldn't live with myself knowing that I've done something wrong, I've done people wrong, I haven't sought out forgiveness, and I haven't confessed to them that I've done something wrong to them. I couldn't live with myself knowing that. So I would go to the people who I have wronged and say, look, I did this wrong to you, and I wholeheartedly apologize. I genuinely apologize, and I ask for your forgiveness. Now, if they choose not to forgive me, that's on them. At least I've done my moral part of seeking out forgiveness. And then if they didn't forgive me, what I would do in turn is forgive myself and move on and work towards being a better person than I was when I wronged that person or those people, which would, of course, include me raising my vibrational frequency. That's what I would do because, again, that's just the moral side of me. But you don't have to do that in order to escape the reincarnation trick. It is not a mandatory thing in order to escape. Um, if a person has killed someone and has gotten away with it, um, if they change their ways and raise their frequency and let go of attachments and gain that knowledge, that gnosis, yes, they can escape without ever having to confess, hey, I murdered this person and I apologize. Yes, they can escape. But again, I don't know how anyone could go on throughout their life being redeemed and changed and of a high vibrational frequency and not confess that they have murdered someone and seek out forgiveness. I mean, morally, I don't see how anyone can do that. I couldn't do it. But number one, I wouldn't ever murder anyone in the first place. But let's suppose I had the mind to murder someone and I got away with it. And I never asked the family of the person I murdered for forgiveness. I couldn't live with myself morally. I couldn't. That would eat away at me. I would have to go to the family and say, look, I took away your loved one and I sincerely apologize. I beg for your forgiveness. I'm not the same person I was when I did this. That's just me. But again, that's not mandatory to do in order to escape. So if you have said things that have hurt people, if you have done things that have hurt people, if you have now come to the realization that what you said and what you did was wrong, and you're now living a life where you are not doing any wrong to anyone else anymore, and you have that high vibrational frequency and you have that gnosis, and you are constantly working every day to let go of attachments, yes, when you cross over, you can escape without ever having to seek forgiveness from those whom you have wronged, without having to confess, excuse me, that you have done wrong. Um, and when you cross over, you need to cross over without any guilt of the things that you have done, because if you cross over with that guilt, they, the Archons and Enki and Marduk, they're going to use that guilt against you by tricking you to come with them and tricking you to see your false life review, which adds even more guilt where there shouldn't be any guilt when you cross over. So, but again, I know I couldn't live with myself in this realm, knowing that there's someone or there's people out there that I have done wrong to, and maybe they don't even know that I've done wrong to them, and I have not told them that I've done wrong to them and sought out their forgiveness. I couldn't do it. That's just morally me. And then if I sought out their forgiveness and they didn't forgive me, well, hey, at least I tried. And then what I would do is I would forgive myself. And I would be fine with that then on, because at least I sought out their forgiveness. But just to go throughout life not seeking their forgiveness, not letting them know, hey, I'm the one that wronged you, I know I couldn't do it. Morally, I couldn't. But if you can, hey, more power to you. The only thing I say is that if you can go throughout life not revealing to the people that you have wronged them, and not seeking forgiveness, the only thing I say is live the rest of your life never doing wrong to anyone else purposely again. Live a redeemed life of high vibrational frequency, so that you can escape when you cross over into the afterlife. That's what I would say regarding that. So I hope that has answered your questions. And I hope I have answered your questions in the best way possible. The next question the same commenter uh, poses is, I also want to know about all the people you would recommend checking out for information about the pleroma, archons, and all that, along with the ancient texts that reveal real information that aren't corrupted by the demiurge and are actually good sources of information. I also want to know about what kind of music or video games or movies that you would say is high vibrational, and if you have any songs or video games or movies. Okay, well, first of all, as far as the people I would recommend, number one, it would be Wes Penray, because that's the first person that was mainstream that I came across when I started getting into information about the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory. Was Wes Penray. And as a matter of fact, I think he has a new book that's coming out. And as soon as it does come out, if I'm still around, I will be promoting that book, because it is, from what he has told me, it is a book that has a great deal of information about the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory, even more. So Wes Penray would be one. I would even say, in a lot of ways, Howdy Mikowski. He has a lot of good information about the reincarnation trick. I would say Alex Collier, Simon Parks. But with Alex Collier and Simon Parks, they're a lot like Bobby Hemmett. You have to take what you can from them and then leave the rest, because some of the things that Alex and Simon says is right on the money, and then some of it is way left field somewhere. So you take what you can that is true from them and you just leave the rest. There's another guy on here called Insights with Tony, and I'll put his channel link in the comment section as well. I have been watching Insights with Tony for a while now, and I have to say he comes off as absolutely genuine. He's not selling anything. He's not coming on with all of the big bravado showman tricks, like you see from people like Isabella Green and all of them. He's just coming on and just telling it natural. And you can tell that he's telling the truth because when he's talking about it, you can see the genuineness in his face and in the words that he uses. And so I have learned a lot from him in his videos, in terms of astral projection and the afterlife and all of that. So Insights with Tony is another very good YouTube channel. I would also say just going online and searching up different websites. There are a lot of websites out there that has a lot of information about, pleroma, archons, the reincarnation trick, and the like. It's just a matter of getting in front of your computer or getting on your phone, and searching through sites. It's going to take you some time, but if you're really concentrated on trying to get the gnosis, you're going to put in the time. The same amount of time you would put in watching these movies, these television shows, playing these video games, going out to different outing events. That's the same amount of time you need to put in when it comes to getting the gnosis. I would not recommend using Google as a search engine for information. I would recommend using Yandex or Duck. I think it's called DuckDuckGo or DuckGo, I believe it's called. I wouldn't even recommend using Yahoo. Any other search engine except for Yahoo and Google, because Yahoo and Google, they censor a lot of sites. But go on to, different websites, and you'll know if you are on a website that is telling the truth about what they are saying. If what they are saying on that website lines up with what a lot of people are saying when it comes to the archons, pleroma, the reincarnation trick, then you're reading truth. But if it's coming completely, let me put it like this, if it's coming out completely left field, then you're not reading truth. Like if you go on a site that's talking about the reincarnation trick and they say, well, in order for you to escape the trick, you have to understand that karma is real. No, you know darn well that that's not true. So you're reading lies. So it's a matter of getting online and just combing through sites. This is what I do a lot of times. I have even gone on Reddit and gone to the Afterlife subreddit and different subreddits like that and combed through those posts, and I found a lot of information there. So it's a thing of getting online and just researching. You may want to spend maybe like first thing Sunday AM when you get up all the way till 10 o'clock at night Sunday researching. And yes, that's a lot of time, but again, you know, what's more important, researching the gnosis that you need to escape this reincarnation trick, or sitting in front of the television and watching mindless TV, mindless movies that helps you in no way to escape? So, that's what I would do. As far as what kinds of music or video, I don't know about video games. I haven't played video games in a long time. I'm not a video gamer person. But when I did play video games, it was more so games like Mario Brothers, Sonic. That's about it. I'm really not a video game person. I'm more of a cartoon person. So, start talking about Jim and the Holograms or something like that, and you got me. Okay, or I'm more of a kids show type of person. I love watching kids shows. Teletubbies is my favorite. Don't laugh. I don't care. I don't care if I'm a grown person. I still love the Teletubbies. Anyway, so that's kind of my field. I don't play video games. But as far as music, any type of music that is positive, that makes you feel alive, makes you feel happy, makes you feel joyous. That's the type of music that you need to be listening to. Um, and I'm going to be honest, you're not going to find that type of music in rap, not anymore. You're not going to find it in R&B, not anymore, not the R&B of today. You're not going to find it in rock music of today. Um, in order to find that joyous, happy, high energy music that makes you feel good, that raises the frequency, to be completely honest, you're going to have to go from 1999 all the way back to the 80s, to the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, and then I'd probably stop right there. But that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to be listening to Tears for Fears. You're going to be listening to one of my favorite songs now, Ordinary World by Duran Duran. Every time I hear that song, it just raises my frequency because it's so prevalent to what is happening today, and it's prevalent to me in regards to what I am searching for. And so every time I hear that song, it just raises my frequency. So you're going to want to listen to songs that raises your frequency, that makes you feel good, not songs that reminds you of a past breakup, not songs that reminds you of sad times, not songs that make you feel melancholy, not songs that makes you want to fight or makes you want to go out there and just have gratuitous sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, like Cardi B's trashy music. You don't want songs like that. You want songs that are positive, that makes you think positive, that makes you feel positive. So you're listening to Tears for Fears. You're listening to Ray Parker Jr. You're listening to Billy Ocean. You're listening to Grandmaster Flash and their music that was positive, Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, songs that were lighthearted and positive. You're not listening to Gucci Mane. You're not listening to Nicki Minaj, Megan the Stallion. You're not listening to Katy Perry. You're not listening to Taylor Swift. Because there's nothing positive about Taylor Swift songs. I'm telling you, it's all about, all her songs are all revenge songs against her ex-boyfriends, because she puts all of her past relationships in her songs. That's low vibrational frequency. That means she's still holding on to a grudge. So they're grudge songs. That's not what you want to be listening to. I don't care how catchy it is. You're listening to songs by Travis Tritt, one of my favorite artists. Travis Tritt, he has one song called I'm Gonna Be Somebody Someday. Positive song. Every time I listen to that song, it makes me feel so powerful. It makes me feel as if I am someone already, someone great. And so that raises my frequency. So you want to listen to songs that raises your frequency, that keeps you in a positive mood, not songs that makes you cry, not songs that make you think about the bad times, the tragic times, the childhood trauma times, the trauma times, period. No. Okay. The same thing with movies. Um, Now with movies, it's a little bit different though. There's really not a rule when it comes to movies, but I'll say this. I recently saw this film called Black 47, and it was a film that really showed the tragic experience of the Irish during the Great Famine. And when I watched the film, I did shed some serious tears over what I was seeing in the film. But at the end of the film, and after watching the film, my frequency came right back up to where it needed to be again. And the reason why it did is because after watching the film, I learned something from that film. And what I learned was that because of what the Irish went through, this is why they are so resilient today. This is why they are so strong today, and they're so open and loving and welcoming. And this is why they are the powerful survivors that they are today, because of everything that they went through. And I would have never understood that had I not seen that film. And so, even though that film was tragic and it was sad, and tragedy and sadness is low vibrational frequency, but I got high vibrational frequency from that film because of the learning lesson that I got, the understanding that I got after seeing that film. So you can watch a film that is of a low vibrational frequency because of the plot. But if after watching that low vibrational frequency film, you get a high vibrational frequency understanding of what was happening in the film and how it relates to people today, and if you get that high vibrational frequency learning lesson from the film that you can apply to people today, then it's a win-win situation. Because even though the film was of a low vibrational frequency and you watched it and your frequency went down because you're feeling the sadness, you're feeling the tragedy that you're seeing in the film, but you're learning something from that sadness, you're learning something from that tragedy. And as a result, after the film is over, because of what you have learned, because of what you have understood, your frequency goes back up. You see what I'm saying? So, because it's impossible to live in this world and never have your frequency lowered. That is impossible. There's no way in the world you're going to go through life 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days out of a year with high vibrational frequency and your frequency never being lowered. There's going to be times where your frequency is going to go down. But the key is, are you going to allow it to stay down? Or when it does go down, are you going to work right then and there to bring that frequency back up? So when you're watching a film like Black 47 and you're watching it and you're feeling the sadness because of what you're seeing, you're feeling the tragedy because of what you are seeing, your frequency is low at that point. But by the time that film is over, your frequency goes right back up to where it needs to be, because out of the sadness that you felt, out of the tragedy that you felt, comes a positive learning lesson, a positive understanding. And the positive learning lesson and the positive understanding is that because of what the Irish went through that was shown in that film, this is why today they are the true survivors. They are the true powerful ones. They are the resilient people that they are today, that are so strong and determined. And that's a positive, those are positive things. Those are high vibrational frequency things. So if you're watching films that make you feel that make you learn that make you understand that, and that makes your frequency go up after watching the film because of the fact that you learned and you understood, then that's okay. Those are the films that you need to watch. But then you have films like the Terrifier films. There's nothing you can learn from those films whatsoever. There's nothing to understand because those films have no plot. It's just one crazy ass clown going around and sadistically murdering people. To be quite honest, The Terrifier films are nothing but low level snuff films. That's what they are. There's nothing to learn from those films. It's nothing to understand from those films. Nothing. And to be honest, those films have no plot. It's just violence, just for the sake of violence. Another film that was like that was a film that came out by with this guy named Mark Duplass called Creep. There's nothing to learn from that film. There's nothing to understand from that film. It's just one nutcase going around and, trapping people into coming to his house so he can murder them for no reason other than the fact that he's a nut. There's nothing to learn positive from the film Creep. There's nothing to understand positive from the film Creep. So why would I want to watch that film when there's nothing? I'm watching the film with low vibrational frequency, and my frequency is going to remain low after watching the film because I didn't learn anything from the film that would raise my frequency. I didn't understand anything from the film that would raise my frequency. So why would I want to watch a film like that? That's how the Terrifier films are. That's how a lot of films are. When it comes to movies, you have to watch movies that have learning lessons in them, that have understanding lessons in them. If you can watch a movie and come away from watching the movie with a learning lesson, with an understanding lesson, then that was a movie worth watching. I'll give you another example. Inception. I saw that movie and I walked away from seeing that movie with a learning lesson, with a understanding lesson that had my frequency very high. That was a film worth seeing. So you have to be picky about the movies that uh, you you watch. Not every movie is a movie that you should watch. A lot of these movies are just mental programming movies that are designed to mentally program you to either be desensitized to violence, to hatred, to the wrong types of relationships and love and intimacy and all of that. And those are the films that you need to stay away from. So I hope I have responded to your question in the best way that's understandable to you. And once again, I do thank you for your comments and your questions. Now, I did want to respond to this comment from Anthony under my video, The Power of the Archons. And he put, the Archons are God of this planet. They are the fake God. Jesus is the true God. They are like AI. They can be positive or negative, anything to feed off your energy. They are the artificial rulers. The archons are just another test given to us by Jesus to test our faith and trust in him. They are very powerful and technologically advanced, but not like Jesus. Let me just say this right now. Jesus doesn't exist. And I wholeheartedly stand by that. Jesus does not exist, nor has he ever existed. And that is a hill I am willing to die on with a smile on my face as I am dying. No, Jesus is not the true God because Jesus does not exist. Jesus is a story that was made up by the Jesuit Catholic Church to keep people docile and under mind control. Because if you think about it now, Jesus is supposed to be a man. Now, not according to Christians. Christians think he is, he is God and God is Jesus and they are one and the same and all of that bullshit. I'm talking about spiritualists who say Jesus was a prophet. He was a man. How come there has never been a picture? Well, of course, there weren't any cameras back then, but how come there has never been any type of image of this man? No drawings, no hieroglyphics, nothing to show any type of visual anywhere of this man. The only thing we have is this Bible that was written by a pedophile and a Freemason claiming that there was this man named Jesus. There is no evidence that Jesus has ever existed. Why? Why? It's because Jesus has never existed. Jesus is a fictional identity that started from Marduk, who is Satan. And Marduk passed that fictional fairy tale bullshit on down to the Jesuit church. And the Jesuit church had one of their own, King James, to write the Bible with this character of Jesus in it. Jesus does not exist. Okay, he has never existed. And as long as you and other people keep thinking that Jesus is the true God, what you're doing is you are giving power to someone outside of yourself. And I'm telling you, you're going to stay right here. You're not going anywhere. You're not leaving this matrix with that type of mindset, because what's going to happen is when you do cross over, guess what they're going to show you? The fake fictional Jesus. And you're going to believe that you're seeing Jesus, and you're going to go with that Jesus, and you're going to get reincarnated right back down here again. You're not going anywhere. No, Jesus is not the true God, because there is no fucking Jesus. And yes, I get pretty upset about this because the whole idea of Jesus sickens me. It absolutely sickens me because so many people have called on Jesus and they have died of cancer, of leukemia, of this and of that. So many people have called on Jesus and they have been through so many childhood traumas, period. So many people have called on Jesus and have lost their loved ones, lost their possessions, lost their homes. Jesus does not exist, and I don't give a damn what any spiritualist is. Show me evidence of Jesus existing, and then I'll change my mind. You can't. Now, God of the Old Testament, yes, he does exist, because the God of the Old Testament is nothing but Enki, who is Lucifer. The God of the Old Testament is Lucifer, and Lucifer is the God of the Old Testament. But this Jesus bullshit, that shit is the whole Jesus story is fictional. It's fictional. It comes from the Catholic Church. And so, no, the archons are not another test given to us by Jesus to test our faith and trust in him. I don't have any faith and trust in someone who does not exist. See, that's that Christian talk again. Oh, Jesus is trying to test us. That's that Christian shit. If you feel that Jesus is trying to test you, then, respectfully, this is probably not the channel for you, because I'm never going to talk about Jesus here, because Jesus is nothing but a fairy tale. That's what he is. Like the Easter Bunny, fairy tale. And you have to understand that a lot of you all who may be thinking that this is true, you need to come away from thinking that this is true, because that's what's going to cause you to reincarnate back down here. You thinking that Jesus Christ is real and he's the real God and all of that. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. I've seen so many people, adults and children, go through so much at the hands of Jesus. Parents neglecting their children because Jesus told them to. Children being abandoned because Jesus. Knowing Jesus does not exist. So, no, I have to disagree with you, Anthony. Jesus is not the true God. If you want to know who the true God is, the true God is us. We are the true gods. The gods and the goddesses. We are the true gods and goddesses. We are it. The power is within us, not within some zombie man who they said died on the cross and rose 3 days later. Oh, please. Get the hell out of my face with that. That is bull. The power is within us. We are the gods. We are the ones who can create. We are the ones who can use our imagination to do so many amazing things. We have abilities, supernatural abilities that are out of this world, amazing. It's us, not anything outside of us. The universe is us. I see a lot of people talk about that too. Oh, praise to the universe. The universe is the one true God. No, the universe is not the one true God. Because we are the universe. The universe is us. We're all gods together, but it's not, it's just the universe. No. The universe is the only God. No, you have to stop making external forces, real and unreal, as your God. You are your own God. You are your own creator of your destiny, of your fate, of everything. So I have to disagree with you, Anthony. No, Jesus is not the true God. And I believe you probably think that Jesus is the true God because some part of you is a Christian. But I'm telling you, you can keep that Christianity all you want, but when it comes time for you to cross over to the afterlife, I'm telling you, you're going to reincarnate. Keep that mindset up and you're going to come right back down here again. I am telling you, that's what's going to happen. Jesus does not exist at all. The next comment comes from Shebi Clocken, who left a comment under a video I did titled, "What Does the Real Universe Look Like?" And since you have the username of she, I'm going to assume you're a female. Okay. Okay. So she writes, brilliant video. I'm at the part where you are discussing the low vibrational, dusty talking about the realm of degeneracy. I am curious when you say he will fall down to a lower realm. Is it like he will become a fallen angel or a demonic entity? I'm curious because I have been feeling that males like that who represent lower conscious states do exist on the other side and heavily influence this 3D realm of the afterlife. Well, thank you, She, for your question. What I mean is this. Just as I said in the video, that guy, he wanted to have a realm in the real universe, the KHAA pleroma, whereas his realm was filled with bitches and hoes and drugs and all that. And so when I told him that he will fall down to the lower realms, what I meant was, see, the second that, okay, let me backtrack it like this. The real universe in pleroma is a high vibrational realm. The real universe, pleroma, KHAA, whatever term you want to use, it is a high vibrational realm. Your frequency has to match that realm at all times in order to be in that realm and to stay in that realm. If at any time your frequency goes from being high to being low, then you will no longer be able to remain in that realm because then your frequency will no longer match that realm. Are you following what I'm saying? So if I get to pleroma and I have a high vibrational frequency, okay, I have a high vibrational frequency and, I'm just positive and all of that. And then once I'm there, I begin to lower my frequency. I begin to have a harem of naked men, okay? Good looking naked men walking around, and the men and I are participating in orgies, and I'm smoking cocaine or doing cocaine and crack and meth up there and all of that. Well, my frequency will drop all the way down. And once my frequency drops all the way down, I'm going to disappear from that realm of pleroma, the KHAA, the real universe. and I'm going to automatically reappear in a realm that matches my frequency. Whatever lower realm matches my frequency, that's the realm that I will, appear in. And from how I understand it, that's how that goes. Because you cannot be in the real universe, which is a high vibrational frequency realm, with a low vibrational frequency inside of you, the soul. It, from what I read, it just can't be done. It can't. And so the minute, well, not even the minute, the second that someone thinks of something that's low vibrational frequency, I mean, absolutely low vibrational frequency, automatically, yeah, they're going to fall from pleroma, the KHAA, the real universe. And they are going to automatically manifest into whatever realm that is of a low vibrational frequency that matches their frequency. And then while they're in that low vibrational frequency realm, if they bring their frequency back up to being high again, then they can go and manifest themselves back up to pleroma. That's when they will reappear back in pleroma. But until they do that, they cannot be in pleroma with a low vibrational frequency. So it's not like they will become a fallen angel or demonic entity. They'll still be the soul that they are. They'll just be in a different realm, a realm that matches their frequency. This is how it is with pleroma, the KHAA, the real universe. That whole realm is a realm of high vibrational frequency. And if you do not have that frequency that matches that realm, you cannot go into that realm. You cannot be in that realm. And then once you're in that realm, your frequency drops down to being low and negative. Then what's going to happen is that you're automatically going to disappear from pleroma, the KHAA, the real universe, and you are going to reappear on a lower level realm that matches your frequency. And while you're in that low level realm that matches your frequency, if you decide to raise your frequency back up, then you can then reappear back in pleroma. But you have to have the frequency that matches pleroma. You have to have it. Because if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to be there. You're not going to be able to get in there. But if you do go down to the lower realms, you're not going to go down as a fallen angel. You're not going to go down as a demonic entity. You're going to go down exactly as who you are, an Isby, a soul, but just an Isby or a soul with a low vibrational frequency. So I hope that is understandable to you. And I know a lot of people think, oh, pleroma is going to be a drag because you can't do this, you can't do that. That's not true. You can do a lot of good. You can do a lot of fun things. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can go bowling, you can go skating, you can play spades, you can go to the casino, you can go to the club, you can do a lot of things. But the things that are not going to be allowed is drugs. Yeah, I'm gonna go give me some cocaine. No, that's not going to be allowed. Meth, no. Drinking to the point where you're sloppy drunk, no. That's yeah. You want to have a beer, have alcohol, yeah. But drinking to the point where you are excessively drunk, and then a lot of people when they get drunk, they get no, that's not going to be allowed up there. Having orgies, no, that's not going to be allowed up there because all that shit, orgies and threesomes, all that is nothing but that comes from the occult. That comes straight from the damn occult. Polygamy, all that stuff comes straight from the occult. No. Why do Anyway, why does anyone think that they're going to bring Lucifer or Satan's antics up into a realm that is very much anti Lucifer and anti Satan? It's just not going to work. But now, if you want to have a relationship up there, you want to have children, you know, intimacy, yeah, you can have that up there. But all of this turning the Paroma into the Diddy party and the baby oil, no, no, that's just not gonna happen up there. It's not gonna happen. I'm telling you. The second you try to think that up, you will be gone. You will be gone. Because if you want to have all that, then you can just stay down here. There's no need for you to go anywhere. So, I hope I have been understanding regarding my answer to you, regarding your question, and thank you for your question. All right, the next question comes from JCS 8330, who put a comment under a past question and answer video that I did. And their comment goes as following: Hello, Miss Sasha. In 2021, I was a senior in high school, and my mother had us take the first two vaccines. A year later, I had taken a booster shot. At the time, I was still a Christian and thought that this was that it and thought that if it was the mark of the beast, it wouldn't be optional. I am awake now and don't want to come back. Is there a technique that I can practice so I don't go through the reincarnation trap? Well, spiritual cleansing. I will say this. A lot of people who took the COVID vaccine, um, a lot of them knew that that vaccine or those vaccines was going to damage their DNA, but they didn't believe that it would. They chose not to believe and they got it anyway. A lot of people did not know that those vaccines was going to damage their DNA and damage them, period. And they went and got those vaccines. Um, Getting those vaccines does not mean that you are permanently at a point of no return. Once you get it, that's it. No. Um, when you get chipped, that's the thing that's irreversible. When you get that microchip in you, that microchip that will be your digital currency, your that will hold your medical records, your ID, and the like. Once you get that RFID chip implanted in you, that is irreversible. There is no cleansing spell, cleansing ritual. There's nothing you can do to reverse that. You're just damned spiritually. The vaccines that came out during COVID is different. You shouldn't have gotten them. I'm glad to say I never got them. But if you did get them, it is not spiritually irreversible. It is spiritually reversible. What I would advise for you to do is to first do a extensive cleansing ritual of your spiritual soul. Now, this is where you're going to have to go online and look up spiritual cleansing rituals. Yes, spiritual cleansing meditations, spiritual cleansing affirmations, and do them. I would say do them for about 2 to 3 months, every single night. Every single night for 2 to 3 months. And you're doing them with full concentration, full focus, full intention. And so, with you doing them, what you're doing is you're cleansing and purifying your soul. And then don't get any more damn vaccines. Okay? Don't get any more. I also recommend getting chakra stones. chakra stones that heals and purifies the soul spiritually of toxins, of damage. And then I would go from there. Go from there on the spiritual journey. That's what I would do. Um, and with you going from there, don't get any more vaccines. But that's what I would do. Um, those vaccines, yes, it anyone who got those vaccines, it did do quite a bit of damage to a person's soul and to a person's DNA, in my opinion, from what I have found. But it's not a thing whereas it cannot be reversed. It can be reversed through meditations, through affirmations, through rituals, through chakra stones. It can be reversed. Unlike with the RFID chip, once you get that, that cannot be reversed. That is not going to be able to be reversed. But the vaccine damage that was done to the soul and the DNA, yeah, that can be reversed. It can be. But you're going to have to put in a lot of work to reverse the damage. But it can be. So I don't want people thinking, oh, I took the COVID vaccine, that means I'll never be able to escape. Yes, you will, if you reverse the damage that was done to you spiritually. Yes, it can be reversed, and you can still have a chance to escape. But now if you reverse the damage that was done, and then you go on and you take more vaccines, but then you're just re-damaging yourself all over again. So, um, that's what I would do. I would look into affirmations. I would look into meditations. I would look into rituals. I would look into chakra stones. And again, you're going to have to get online and look these things up. It's out there. Look them up. Um, look up the techniques here on YouTube. So this is what I would do, in my opinion. You know. So thank you for your question on that. All right, I wanted to respond to this other comment by Carl Richard, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the last part of your username right, Fleury. He or she, I'm gonna put they left a comment under my video entitled "The Power of the Archons," and their comment was, "I'm nobody's friend. I have zero." And Tommy, another user, put, "Either do I or have family." Um, and then another commenter responded to that saying, "Me neither. Even your own family despises you deep down inside." This talk has to stop. All three of you, you have to stop talking like this. What you're doing is you are putting negativity into yourself. You have to stop this. You are somebody's friend. You're the universe's friend. You do have friends. You don't know that you have them, but you have them. They watch you every single day. I am telling you. My baby brother watches me every single day. And I know it. And he communicates with me through songs, through messages. So I'm never alone. My grandmother, my grandfather, I have felt their presence despite them being off of this physical earth here. So I'm never alone. um, I don't have a lot of friends down here. But you know what? I have a lot of them up there in Pleroma. I haven't met them yet, but I know that they're there. And so I do have friends. And this is how you have to start talking to yourself and about yourself. You are somebody's friend, Carl Richard. You may not realize that, but you are. You may not be able to see them down here, but when you get to Pleroma, you will see them. You are somebody's friend. You do have friends. As long as you keep up that mentality of, oh, I don't have any friends, I'm nobody's friend, what you're doing is you're putting yourself into a low vibrational frequency. You are wallowing in low vibrational frequency of which the archons are feeding off of. You have to stop that. Your words have power. Tommy, who said, neither do I, um, or have family. You do have family. You may not realize you have family, but you do have them. And they watch you every day. You don't know that they're watching you. Well, not until today, because I'm telling you, they are now. But they're watching you every day. You may not see them, but they see you. They may not be here in this realm, but when you get to Paroma, you are going to meet your family. Because when you get to Pleroma, you're going to want to meet your family, and that wanting is going to turn into manifestation. So you are going to meet your family. So you have to stop saying this. I don't have a family. I don't have friends. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The Archons and Enki and Marduk, that's what they want you to think. Oh, you don't have anybody. You don't have no friends. Nobody's in your corner. You don't have any family members. Your own family members hate you. They want you to feel that way and to think that way, because to feel and to think that way brings down your frequency. You are never alone. Hell, I don't know any of you all from Adam or Eve, but hey, consider me your friend. So you have to stop talking like this, because what you're doing is you're putting into manifestation negativity. So you have to stop talking negative. Stop talking death to your life, to your situation, and start talking life to your situation. Start talking positivity to your situation. You are somebody's friend. So if you don't have any friends down here, who cares? You know, especially if you have tried to make friends down here and you can't make friends down here, who cares? You do have friends. You are somebody's friend. You do have family. They may not be down here, but they are damn sure up there in Pleroma. You do have family who do not despise you. They may not be down here, but they are up in Pleroma. You have to start talking with powerful positivity, because if not, I'm telling you, the way you talk is going to also be a deciding factor as to whether you escape or whether you stay. So I just wanted to point that out, because I saw these three comments and I'm like, no, no. Stop wallowing in these negative thoughts. Stop it. So with that, those are all the questions that I have received for these past few days. If you have any other questions that you want to ask about the videos that I've put out or anything spiritual-wise, either you can email me or you can leave it in the comment section and I will respond. I thank you all for listening. Again, I will say, when I say that, I don't say that just to be saying it. I really mean that you all are powerful. You all are powerful. You all are creator gods, and you all are loved. This is the Afterlife discussion. Thank you for listening. Until next time.